Oh, it's broken at the worst possible place. Actually, I've just noticed something else. There's a brand new thermostat housing in this, which would make a lot more sense that the wire got broke from that more so than the battery. Someone's telling me porkies, but anyway, it doesn't matter. This fault happened after a battery was changed. New battery, engine light on. I mean, surely it has to be something to do with the battery. Let's find out. Hello and welcome to another Budget and Leggit video. Yes, so we have a 2016 Ford Focus diesel, and customer complaint was, or this is actually for another garage, but the battery was changed by another garage, engine light came on, and we have a P2455, which is a DPF pressure sensor, circuit A. And like I said, it was happened after the battery was changed. Now, the other garage told me they have put a brand new sensor in it. So we know it's not the sensor. Well, I suppose it could be, but the chances are too dodgy sensors. Now, it's a genuine Ford sensor. Doesn't particularly mean anything. They are better, but you know, I have had a few sensors that are brand new for more brands that have failed, but you know, going to leave the sensor alone in a minute. I have come across a few issues with these, with the wires breaking down here. Oh. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's broken at the worst fucking possible place. The connector. Fuck. Anyway, let me get this connector off. Right, wire is broke, but it's broken right at the sensor, so we've got to try and de-pin this. It's the worst break you can possibly get, but that would make sense because this is on the side of the battery, so maybe whoever did it pulled it. I don't know. I'm guessing whoever did the battery did that. That would be my guess. Yeah. Oh, I don't like repairing these because even if you get the pin out, they just don't always repair great. But we're going to try and de-pin it, and we're going to see. Worst case scenario, we might have to get a new plug. But let me de-pin this first and see what's going on. It'd be too difficult to me show you how I did it. First, remove the little plastic clip that just clips in at either side. Then remove the waterproof little bung, which you can just do with a pick. Then here is the pin, by the way. Then what you got to do, once you remove the plastic sleeve, you can see them 3 plastic pins just down here. You see them? I guess there. Pull that back, because that slides underneath here, and that's what locks this into place. So now what I've got to try and do is carefully unpick this and then somehow try and get that back on it. The reason why I don't like doing this, or the repair, it's not that I don't like doing it, the repair sometimes doesn't work, because when you pull these back you tend to weaken them and they can break. If you had a new pin, different story. Or what you can sometimes do is get another pin from another plug and cut it and then just put that pin in, which is that's what I'm going to try and do, because that is very very tightly crimped, and to undo that, just a lot of the times they just break. Right, managed to find voice crack, managed to find one. So it is slightly different, but it's only this body is a bit longer, but it does fit onto the pins and it's a nice snug fit. But most importantly, it has the little indentation, where is it, on this side, just there, look, that will allow it to fit in the hole. See that? No, I'm gonna get this bit straighter. That's got a little indentation, and the original one, this is out of a Ford connection, by the way. This is the connector here. So I always keep connectors, always. When you get anything off a scrapyard and they cut them, always keep them off every car. So it's a Ford connector. Overall, as you can see, it's the same length, but it does have the indentation to allow it to lock into place. So I'm just going to now see, does it physically lock into place? If it doesn't, well then I'm going to have to do something else, but I think it will. I know it goes into the, I know it sits nicely into the plug. The actual hole in it this way is absolutely, focus you bastard, is identical, so that's good. Right, we're done. So if you look under here, we've got the waterproof pack in there, which obviously makes it waterproof, which is good. And look at that, lovely. So I just need to plug that back in now. I'm just going to join that wire together by hand, just screw them together initially, see if the error code wipes off, see if there's any other issues before I kind of button all this back together. Right, it's plugged in nicely. I've just got that wire screwed together there, just making sure it's hitting nothing metal. We're just going to turn the ignition on. We're going to see if the light goes out. Chances are I might need to reset the fault codes, but there's also a chance I might not. So just if the light doesn't go out straight away, don't be concerned. Ready? Let's go. And no, light hasn't gone out. Let's reset it and see what happens. Right, so let's erase fault code. See what happens. Maybe I haven't got the pin pushed in enough. There could be loads of, yeah. Oh no, why is the engine light still on then? It should go out. Hey! Yeah, baby! Let's just read codes. Boom! Boom! And fucking boom! Now it's got to repair it properly. Actually, I've just noticed something else. There's a brand new thermostat housing in this, which would make a lot more sense that the wire got broke from that more so than the battery. Yeah. So someone's telling me porkies, but anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of them solder connections, which they are, you know, get the good ones. I've used the cheap ones too, and they're not too bad, but the good ones are just slightly better. But you have to be careful when you use them. You don't use them all together. And what I mean by that is, even when the problem is when you fix a wire, when you solder it, now there's a big debate between solder and crimping. If you want to be proper, crimping's the way to go, and I know that's a lot of people are going to start saying stuff, but like Formula 1 for example, they do not solder any wires. There's no soldering in any of the wires in Formula 1, so that will give you an idea. And rallying's exactly the same. The reason is vibration, and it cracks solder. Now don't get me wrong, you can use solder connections on a car, because I've done it and there's no problem, but like I said, believe it or not, crimping connections are better for long-term reliability and vibration reasons. But we can do this with the solder. But if we had the 3 wires to have to do, that's where it's really a problem, because if you solder 3 wires together, you've now got because the solder doesn't move, it doesn't bend like wires bend, and it leaves a very solid connection. And if you was to solder all 3 wires in the same part, you've got a part that's a couple of inches long that's solid, and I guarantee you it will snap there. It just will. It might take 6 months, 6 years, but eventually it will snap. So if you're going to repair a lot of wires, you stagger the connections. So you put one connection up here, one connection down there, you stagger them so they're not all together. Or you just replace the whole entire wiring loom or the whole entire wire, which again, I understand in a lot of cases that's just not practical. But what will happen is, like I said, I promise you, if you put too many solder connections right together, it will 100% snap. So that's why you do not see solder connections in cars. You just don't see it. There is, in certain part of the wiring loom, there is connections, but they're glued and they're crimped and then glued over it, and they do give problems. But yeah, so that's your options. I'm going to show the option I'm doing for this. I'm also then going to cable tie it and make it a lot more solid, so someone can't just put their hand down there and rip it back out. The reason, like I said, where is it? The reason, like I said, I prefer to do it this way if you can, because if you look at this, that's actually, you can see it snapped. The waterproof housing is actually kind of bolted, or not bolted, but crimped into your connection. And don't get me wrong, if you got it and you just push it into the connection, it's better than nothing, but that eventually can just fall out because the actual crimped connection is holding, as you can see, look, it's holding it on. So the way I've done it is, if you look in there, oh, you can't see, but that crimp, the waterproof connection is actually all the way in. My wire is exactly the same thickness as the other wires, it's just the colour slightly different. If you took your time and you had a load of connections, you might even be able to get the same colour wire, but I wasn't bothered about that. Now if you come in back, or someone comes back a few years later and starts looking at wiring diagrams and you've got a load of different wires that are different colours, it's going to confuse them a little bit, but you know, we have to get the car fixed, get it back on the road, and this is the quickest and easiest way to do it. Right, this is the way I do this. So again, I'm confident enough just to use one of these connections. I wouldn't be using two of them side by side, or even staggering these, because these are quite long. For one wire connection, no problem. If I had a couple, I'd be doing it a slightly different way. These are the good ones. So these are the ones with the waterproof things on each side. Now the cheap ones have that too, but I've just seen some of the cheap ones to kind of leak. So I've twisted the wires in together, and I put this on first, twisted the wires together and slid this over. Now I've just squeezed the solder in the middle. Now we're going to heat that and let everything melt. I'm going to do the two sides. So geez, I can't fucking talk today. I'm going to do the two waterproof sides first and then come in to do the middle. And the reason I do that is because this is at a slight angle. Sometimes I have noticed that the solder will flow and it'll flow out, and I don't want it to do that. So I want to seal up the ends first and then put the solder in the middle. I try and do this one-handed, so I got my little torch here. Actually, why is the flame that big? Flame shouldn't be that big. Right, so let me see if I can do this. Get the ends to melt first. I might be wobbling the camera here because I need to look at the camera plus also this. Once I'm happy the ends are melted and the waterproof part is there, which is now we'll heat up the middle, get that solder to flow nicely. There we go, look at that. There we go. I've got a little bit more heating just to do there and there, which I'm going to do off camera, but hopefully you saw that solder melt both sides, and it is nice. So the trick again is to leave that to completely cool down, because once it's hot like that you can actually break them. So let it completely go down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cable tie it. So I'm going to try and cable tie so this always stays flat rather than kinked, and that will just help it in future. And then yeah, so you'll see what it looks like once I've finished. Right, I'm waiting for the experts to come back in the comments, just like I see in loads of people's videos that you're doing everything wrong. But what I want the experts to do is tell me, because obviously they're experts, why I've left a pigtail like that and I've curled it up like that. There's a special name for that. Can anyone tell me, and tell me the reason why I've done it that way? There is a reason and there's a special name for it. Now what I've also seen is this connection is supposed to be down there on that pipe, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cable tie this kind of to the side. So I might drill a hole inside the battery box. I know that might sound quite drastic, but it's going to be good for it. It'll stop this from flapping around, and two cable ties here and here, as you can see, will make that nice and flat. It'll keep it out of the way of everything, so no one hopefully kind of does the same thing again, rips it off. And yeah, I just think it's going to be a lot kind of safer to do it that way. So I'm going to see if I can get cable ties anywhere else without drilling holes, but I don't think I can. So I think it's just going to be drill a couple of holes in there, put 2 cable ties on, feed them around, and at least then it's going to be a million times better, and it'll just stop all this as you're driving down the road, all the vibrations and stuff. Right, how do you drill holes in the side of there without right-handed or 90-degree drills and connections on your drills and all sorts, and then the drill bit is too long? Get your really expensive snap-on pick, put it into a flame, let it glow red hot, and then very simply push it down into the plastic. There you go, look. Oh, see that? It's gone all the way. It's gone all the way through. Let me turn off my glasses now. Do it again. You can see. So heat it up. I can't wait to see the trolls, what they're going to say about this. Can you imagine? You've destroyed the car, it's not structurally safe anymore, and you cost the customer millions of pounds, and it's just a bodge, and it's just because you know your channel name is really right. Oh, the usual shit you get from them. Let's go down in here, make the hole a bit bigger. There we go. That now is 2 nice holes inside of there. I've managed to get a cable tie up onto there, so I've only had to do 2 holes here. Why does that come back on? That didn't work now, did it? I'll put your video clip in when I scared you right now. Hold that, don't touch the end of it because it's red hot, just hold the plastic bit. There you go. Alright, turn this off. Turn this off. Turn this off. There we go. Don't need that on anymore. Right, now I can put this up here and put my cable tie through there, and then we're all good to go. Right, and there we go. Look how neat and tidy that is now. That wire is not going anywhere, and it's going to be really, really difficult to pull that and do any damage to it whatsoever. And if you do come across this problem, check the plug. But I've also seen it down here where it joins into the main loom. I've seen the wires to break there as well, so kind of check both of there, and then essentially it's a free fix because you don't really have to buy any parts, which is bloody awesome. So once this is back on here, you'll never see what I've done there. Oh, down. There we go. And there we go. So look, it's done. It's quite simple. This was a simple thing. I was, to be honest, expecting wire broken down there. It's an easier fix as such because you don't have to do what I did. When it always comes down to the pin, it's always a bit of a nightmare because sometimes you need special tools to pull out the pins, and it's just more of a nightmare. But anyway, look, it's done. So hope it helps. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.